This is sunny Guildford. Do you know, it continues to amaze me the way that people will shop in these conditions. You end up either frozen, soaked, pushed about. It's so uncomfortable. Well, Richard, that's what we're here to do something about. And I hope you've got some ideas for me. You don't want a lot, Ernie. After all, it was only Friday that your solicitor got the plans to me. Here it is Monday morning, and you want to start piling. Still, I think I have some proposals that'll get your agents hopping. That's what I want to hear. But I hope you've thought about the cash flow as well. You know, we need to get something up fast to impress the banks and entice the tenants. Oh, I think you'll find that this will entice your tenants. Oh, really? Anyway, here we are. This is it. Now, the thing is, if we can get planning permission for a shopping mall in the middle of this lot, we should achieve a high presence, and we should be able to reap the advantage of all the passing trade. Well, Ernie, if your surveys are correct, I can tell you I've come up with something spacious and airy that should satisfy even your ambitions. Do you mean you've actually got a plan already? I have a couple ideas I'd like to run past you, Ernie. If you're interested, why don't we go somewhere warm and discuss them? I tell you what, let me treat you to lunch. The most important thing, Ernie, is how much area you want to devote to retail. Also, you were a bit vague about whether or not you thought we'd be able to achieve a flow-through. But I think I've come up with a scheme that will give you the kind of rentals you're looking at, and you'll get a good building.
Yes, Richard, but you're going to need a sizable napkin to draw this up on.
Ernie, this is not the time for your back-of-the-envelope stuff. What you need now are firm proposals. And that's precisely what I have here, in a notebook, so to speak. With the software I have available, I can give you a good feel for this project.
In that case, we'd better order.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Salmon and broccoli pies and a bottle of Saint-Emilion.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. So what have you got in this little box of tricks, Richard?
The joy of these computers is that with the software tools I can get from Autodesk, there's virtually no limit to what I can demonstrate for you.
Very smart.
And very practical, too. This is my design environment. I've loaded the electronic site survey given to me by your solicitors, and now I'm able to produce for you a schedule of calculated areas. The result is, you'll get exactly what you want.
When I see it, I'll believe it.
The most appropriate approach for this is an underplayed, well-mannered facade. We want to make a proper contribution to the streetscape. Working from your original site drawings, I felt the most interesting possibility would be a cruciform structure which would optimize the interior space and give multiple access points. This then gave a good basis for developing the design concept. Elaborating on the original cruciform idea led me into an integrated neo-Gothic elevation, yet one with a very contemporary look. Like the old cathedrals, the building will have a powerful sense of perspective and an intrinsic sense of its relation to the local environment. Moving on to an analysis of areas, whereas the units are all variable, the grade A's constitute a significant portion of the total. As you can see from this 3D view, the frontage offers retailers an advantageous presence. Overall, the scheme aims to provide a high concentration of easily accessible retail space in an uplifting environment. Now this is where the software really comes into its own. Having done my exact construction in AutoCAD AEC, I can then import it into their 3D Studio visualization software. This allows me to add materials, lights and atmosphere, everything we need to produce graphics, stills, or even...
What's the advantage of all this high technology?
You ain't seen nothing yet. The name of the game is professional presentation that saves time and money. I'm not limited to just giving you an outlined proposal. I can show you the finished article. Then you can make your decisions early. But Ernie, with tough customers like you, sometimes it takes a bit more. So watch this.
What are we doing back here, Richard?
I've brought you into a computer simulation of the scheme. Pretty impressive, eh?
It's brilliant.
Let's have a look at what I've done for you.
Okay, show me. I like it. It's very impressive. Perhaps some kind of symbol at the top, a unicorn and lion, something to suit the surrounding townscape.
Which in the wardrobe?
Very witty.
You can see the difference. You have the sense of being outside, there's the open aspect of the street, bags of ambient daylight, yet you're protected from the elements. And there's this big open pedestrian area as well. The open double-height space gives an impressive sense of scale. Working with a graphics system like this, you immediately get a better sense of volume and of the character of the space than you could possibly achieve with traditional perspectives.
Your point is taken, Richard, but this is Guildford, not Paris. Who's going to pay for all this volume?
You see, Guildford is a town where planning is a significant issue. Still, I think you'll find that the planners love the style. With the light and space, you're getting more net lettable than you could hope for. You see, as well, the plan gives you a relatively constant, relatively shallow unit depth. In the end, what you're selling is basically frontage.
Okay, but how flexible are the units to rearrange if a new tenant moves in and wants to sell something completely different, wants to change the whole layout?
They work to standard modules. Chopping and changing wouldn't be a problem. And there's no restriction on internal configuration. Now look, as you approach the center, you'll see that the space is dominated by this magnificent ornamental clock. This is the focal point of the scheme, the hub, and it makes a good meeting place.
It's very high. I suppose it's designed to carry the eye up to your magnificent vaulted ceiling.
And carry the eye up to the second level of shops. It helps the flow as well.
Richard, you surprise me. You're talking like a developer.
We might see this reflected in the fees.
Ho, ho.
Well, I think you'll be interested to know that I've done a detailed breakdown of finishes. I was going to suggest that with the use of Carrara marble, we'd be able to achieve an additional lightness in this project.
Carrara marble? Well, I suppose all this visibility should attract tenants to all parts of the hall and make security easier. I suppose we won't have any dark little corners that we can't let.
Right.
The other thing is, how do we get up there?
Ernie, now you're beginning to worry like an architect. The main communication between levels is the escalators. Easy to locate, fun to ride. They give a good prospect to the mall as well. But there's also that sizable and prominent lift, and it gives access to disabled shoppers.
You're not really going to take me up on this, are you? It's only a simulation.
Ernie, trust me. Come on. There, at the top, you can see one of the fire exits. In fact, there are ample exits all around the building. When I bring the building control officer on this tour, I'm sure he'll be well pleased. But as you can see, not only are these units eye-catching from below, they're also easy to reach. You may get lower rentals at first, but the view from up here is so breathtaking that it's sure to be a draw for tenants and customers alike.
Richard, I know it's all breathtaking to behold, but isn't a structure like this likely to be expensive in materials and finishes? And what about the time involved?
Well, the method of construction I would propose, particularly with a degree of prefabrication, would ensure that we could stick both to budget and program.
Are you sure the view will be enough of a draw to get the public up here?
Initially, they'll be attracted by the shops they can see while they're having their tea and scones at the Central Cafe. Once their curiosities brought them up here, they can't help but be impressed.
You must have loved your Meccano as a kid. Well, you've obviously done well with the structural engineer, and that lift is a real eye-catcher.
I've tried to make everything necessary into a feature. When providing for the disabled, visibility is a priority. Well, Ernie, this is about as realistic as you're going to get without actually building it. With your budget, I think this scheme will serve all your architectural and financial requirements.
I'll go along with that. And if you can guarantee it's as good as this in real life, I'll seriously consider sanctioning it. You know, your business is bound to improve dramatically if all your presentations are as effective as this.
I certainly hope so. Well, I guess we should be getting back.
Richard, I'm impressed. I've never known so much about a project before even drawing up the contract. How did you do it?
It's all down to intelligent software. With what I can get from AutoCAD AEC and 3D Studio, I can demonstrate just about everything to you. This enables you to take decisions and change whatever you want. Details, lighting, materials. In the end, what you see is what you get.
Well, it's worked its magic on me. You've got yourself a deal.